I'm back with some more Guild War. I didn't stream yesterday my Guild Wars since it was Christmas the 25th, but I do have all of my fights for this Guild War recorded, so we have a video. We're up against Nut today. In the background right now, this is my first fight against Den433. It's sped up because I'm just showing you the before and after of my first, basically the pick process for teams. Team 1, I changed around some gear just to try out this version of the comp instead of with MLKen. Bottom team, I found out while talking to guildmates that, Kitty Clarissa strips. I did not know that, because I, never fight Kitty Clarissa, so I went from what I wanted to use to something safer that would also win. I basically just ended up going with Krau, Violet. Very, very staple comp for me, that I tend to use, 80% of the time whenever I don't know what to bring, and well, because she's broken. Alright. Not much to say. The top team... Remembering now what happens, the top team is gonna be a funny one. It's just Carmen going to skill 3 into DN... Well, DN skill 3 into Carmen skill 3 into SSB, just killing everyone. If you have these units, most people should have DN now. If you have these 3 units, it beats a lot of just anything, really. So Carmen... I slowed down my team a lot for this, but it doesn't matter, because the, Akali should never be able to kill Carmen through her own passive end. I made her tankier and slower, just for this purpose. I was first here, so I'm just taking picture. I haven't fought too many Mursas, but whenever I do, I'm never really, I guess I want to say impressed, but that might be too harsh. I don't know. I just feel like she doesn't do anything. Especially against SSB, and since I have Drink, even if she dodges, the Drink damage will eventually add up. But you're about to see what happens when she doesn't dodge. Spoiler. Alright. I couldn't skill 3. My Carmen wasn't fast enough to cut in with her skill 3, but it doesn't matter. Lilius won't be able to kill all 3 of them or really do anything right there. Luckily, I slowed down my SSB. Mursa is, faster. And then she procs my skill 2. And this is why I'm still not convinced on the Mursa. She didn't miss. So she just dies to skill 2 plus the drink damage. And now the team is... yeah, the team's kinda dead. There's not much to say on this one. A lot of people can run this offense that I run. The main reason why I use this version of the comp also is just because I've seen people use it and I just wanted to try it out, see how it feels compared to the MLKen version that I use. And safe to say, it felt nice. So if you have these 3 units, at this point I think the hardest one to get is probably the Carmen, but if you have these 3 units you can run them into just about any defense. You just have to make sure you have your speed tuned correctly. SSB into Carmen into... no, not SSB, my bad. DN into Carmen into SSB, and then you're good. Alright, so Kitty just doing her things. I'm not gonna lie, I still don't fully know what she does, but... You know. Honestly, I just kinda ignored her. The only threat I thought in this team was the Charles, and once he's gone, I felt much safer. Again, since I'm the first one in here, just taking a picture. Luckily, my Violet outsped the Charles, so there is a chance that he skill 3s into my Apple, so I can counter and kill him. That's the nice thing about, faster Violets. When you go into a comp that has AoE, if you outspeed their AoE, you have a chance of killing them on your counter since they'll give you attack buff. Depending, of course, on how strong, how high your offensive stats are on. Unfortunately, no miss. And that is the downside to Violet. His base defense is really low, so if he doesn't dodge, he takes a big chunk. Luckily, it shouldn't matter. Because there's 2 darks here, they'll just be attracted to Roel. And because I have Krau, defense up. Speaking of Krau, actually. This is my Clairvoyance EX right here. I use Krau, I believe in 2 fights this Guild War. And this actually ends up unintentionally being a nice demonstration as to why Krau is just really, really good. If you don't have Krau, and you're debating on whether or not to pull for him, I feel like this is a good showing off of what Krau can do defensive-wise as a tank. Basically, what I'm saying is, if you don't have Krau, definitely pull for him. He is a very, very strong unit, a very good unit. No real reason not to. Alright, just to be on the full safe side, I just get rid of Charles here. I just figured there's no reason to keep him alive, and I don't think the other two by themselves can really put a threat to my roll. Defense up, plus Aureus, and I have proof. They can't really do too much damage. The kitty does have the ability to get a dual attack, and it'll always be with the Aravi, but that really won't matter. I am tanky enough to tank, like, just multiple hits over and over. So now it's just beating them down one at a time. I decided to go for the kitty here because I believe, from my experience, most of the time Aravis just have counter set. And I believe this Ravi also has counter set. So I may as well just save the Ravi for last in case things go wrong with counter set. And just go for the kitty right now. However, well, you'll see when my Violet turn comes up. I'm just gonna hit the kitty, keep going with these two, hoping for a dual attack with Violet, hoping to kill him. Alright. Not too bad. This is the only time where it's kind of maybe scary, but it's just not enough damage. So I could kill the kitty here, but I decided it's time to test my Violet's limits, to test my unit's limits. Instead of going for the kitty, I skill 3 the Aravi, because I feel this is the only time I'll have the attack up, and full stacks. So let's just test and see how much damage I do. So I almost do 17,000, so it's, you know, like when you're in a spot like this, or at least when I'm in a spot like that, I like to test my unit's damage just to get like a feel for like what's the absolute most I can do against some certain units. If you remember in the last Guild War, there was like a 17,000 ML Ken that I was able to one-shot with Violet. So I like doing that. Whenever I know I'm like in a safe spot, I just want to see how much damage output I have on my units. It's a good reference point for like the future. Also because there's almost never another time where I'm gonna get the attack buff, unless she like procs the counter set over and over. I Soulburn just for the attack down. She healed, like, actually, like, Aravi's a little annoying on defense, because, I don't know, it just always feels like she has, like, her bar full. And if you're hitting her with, like, your non-DPS unit, they just heal more than you do damage. But, because of Krau, if I didn't have Violet for whatever reason, Krau would eventually kill her anyway. Krau skill 3 is also very, very good. Not much more to say here. Will go down by the time my Violet's skill 3 comes up in next turn with the full stacks. And I have Krau's skill 3 also ready, so I have plenty of options here. So I did about, what, 17,000 with without attack buff, full stacks. And now I do 11,000. So, not bad. Not bad, round 1. Alright. Time for the second fight. I believe this is their middle fort. Unfortunately, not much really to say here. Both of the comps I'm bringing, if you've seen my last 2 Guild War videos, they're very straightforward. I'm just looking over gear. We only needed 1 more hit at this point to break this. I could go for a draw, but may as well just get the double win. And looking back on this, I probably should have just gone for the draw, but you'll see what I mean. First team, I could have brought the DN version, but I just pretty much said fuck it and brought ML Ken. I believe I retuned my Carmen speed. I lost a lot of gold this war for no reason at all, but I just wanted to like mess around with some stuff, but I tuned my Carmen back up over 210 speed, something like that. This should be pretty much the same as it's always been. The nice thing about this comp is the ML Ken on the other side is faster than both my SSB and my ML Ken, so even though he has immunity, it'll fall off before my SSB gets a turn, which is the important part, so she can get the unhealable debuff on him. So there you go. They just whack into the invincibility. MLK does his thing. This is where this right here is when I'm a little monkaS. This is an 18,000 MLK. I swear every time I fight MLK, they just get more and more HP somehow. But yeah, this is an 18,000 MLK, so I'm like, how tanky can he be? How much hits is he gonna take to kill? But like I said, luckily, since he went before my SSB, I can just skill 3 here. I believe it's a really high, like 100% or something? I have to double check, but SSB skill 3 has a high chance of landing, just base. So unless you have like a lot of dedicated effect res on your MLK, most of the time, if not all the time, it'll just land. So, yeah. And then Drink is just broken. I love using Drink. I love using Drink, but I don't think it's a fair artifact. But regardless, now my MLK goes and he defense breaks on 2 of them, the 2 important ones, so it's pretty much over at this point. At this point in the fight, it's whether or not my Carmen dies to the remainder of the, what's her name, the A-Ravi, but yeah, absolutely disgusting. Like I said, especially for this comp, there's really not much to say. It plays itself out very smoothly. Only threat ever again is if Carmen dies, so you know, makes it impossible to use her again, but they don't do enough damage. My Carmen's at full health. If, like, for whatever reason I got outsped and they hit Carmen earlier on, maybe it would have been different, but yeah. Defense break, very strong. Alright. Second fight. Now, this is the fight where something interesting happens. So this very common team I bring into it. This comp that the Furrier has on defense is basically the same thing as the Charles version, just swap out Charles and Yuffie. Because they have the Yuffie in though, she can't be any tankier than Charles, so I'm like, okay, I'll just do the same thing I always do. I don't remember why I'm taking so long to do this. I think I might have just been overthinking something, but it just plays it. If the setup is the same, SSB, FCC, and then X, if the X is in a fire unit, you can pretty much just bring the same unit. Just one-shot them with Yuffie, and then go from there. As long as you one-shot turn 1 with Yuffie, the other 2 pretty much die the same way. I believe I was in a call during this fight, and that's why I was like talking to other people. That might have been why it was taking so long for me to do this first move. Like, I'm definitely overthinking it, but the Yuffie is nowhere near as tanky as a Charles would be. Yeah. But, in hindsight, and you're gonna see this in a couple seconds, in hindsight, something very bad could have happened there. This defense with Charles instead of Yuffie is very, very common. And what can be scary is actually the FCC. Recently I've been fighting just FCCs with like Aureus or what's the other one? Adamant Shield, right? To try and help mitigate so your units don't get one shot by Yuffie. I mean, usually it doesn't matter because it's like almost never enough. But then that happens, Elbrus. The original counter to this comp is Elbrus, because it can fuck over your Yuffie if you don't have immunity. And the report did not say that she had Elbrus, because I think I was the only one where the Elbrus procced. So no, everyone else just assumed it was like Adamant or Aureus as well. So did I. So that happened. When that happened, I got really sad. Because when that happens on the... Obviously this could have been much worse if it procced on Yuffie, because I would have just instantly lost. But because that happened, I lose A-Lots, and you're gonna see later on why that's a little annoying. Because my Yuffie gets the dual attack here, by the way, I don't think it matters, but... Because she was like on my Yuffie, maybe it could have been scary, but... I get the defense down, so I get the win. I lose A-Lots there. Usually that's not an issue, but you're gonna find out soon why that's an issue. Alright, so yeah. More or less it's a clean win on both those fights. And then that opens up the stronghold. So now it's time. Oh boy. Alright, so stronghold time, up against light. So because I lost A-Lots, I can't use that comp into Team 1. So I tried something a little bit different. Like I said, I believe in Fight 1. The setup for Team 1 you know, I've seen this been used a couple of times, so I wanted to try it. There's two things that I did wrong, I think I did wrong with this comp. Number one, I tried something that I really shouldn't have tried. I gave my Carmen Elbrus, because I saw someone else in the guild do this, and it worked perfectly for them. But of course, I try it and it doesn't go as smoothly. Normally, in looking back on this, I think if I had given her what I normally Carmen what I normally give her in Bastion, I would have won this. I think. Not entirely sure, but I think it goes higher than what happens here. Because Elbrus basically, it's like I have no artifact, since it never procs. But then there's the other thing. Light's defense is actually massive 5-head brain. So, I don't know if you saw there, but the FCC had 28,000 health. Whenever people say you want to have like a thick, fat FCC, you usually think of like 24 to 26k range. That FCC has 28k, so her shields are fat, like really fat. And then you have this Bellona who has 16,000 health, and who's on drink. From what other people are saying, the SSB hurts a lot as well. So, yeah, this guy just definitely 5-head. I think, the reason why I hit there, by the way, is to get the chain going. And this is the other part where I think I just lose the fight instantly. If you see right there, both of them resisted my defense down. And because that happened, I just insta-lose. I don't do the damage on those tanky units now, even with my attack buff. I also crit the Charles there. Yeah, I crit the Charles there, but I missed the crit, or I missed the defense down as well. So that was very unfortunate. And what made me more tilted at the time was that I landed that on the FCC right there. And I landed the unhealable on SSB. So it's not like she has the highest of effect res, but I guess she has some effect res. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm also debating right here if I should let the chain go again. And I think, actually, did I say 2 at the beginning? There was like 3 things here that I think might have gone a little too unlucky, but I'm thinking here whether or not I want to provoke the chain from SSB, or just shield up. If I had Bastion in this situation, I think this is where the fight goes in my favor, and you'll see why in a second. I end up deciding to go for the skill 1, let the chain go off, because I still have immunity on everyone, so I don't want to get defense broken, so this is like probably the only safe time. Because both the other 2 DPS on their side is about to go. So if I let the chain go off right now, maybe it's like safer overall, because then I can shield up next turn with the N. But you're about to see what happens. Also looking back on this, damn, it took me a long time to come to this decision. Hindsight, 2020, what a great thing, am I right? Yeah, I'm gonna hit the Charles, so I don't provoke, I don't let him Elbrus. Let the chain go off. So if you look closely at the HPs, my DN took more damage here than my SSB. So what I'm thinking here is like, okay, this Charles should go for my DN because her percentage HP is lower. And then he goes for my SSB, and he crits me. And he strips me. And then SSB follows up, and then... the dual attack didn't matter here, but I kinda wanted to keep going at this point, just to see, you know... Maybe I should keep going, just to see. It's my last attack, why not see what happens next? And then the most... I hate this interaction that's about to happen. At this point, I'm pretty sure I've lost anyway, but I just want to let it keep going. But then the Charles... I hate this interaction so much. I don't know why it's a thing. Yeah. Unlucky. Well, nah. I think if I had Bastion that would've gone better, but... You know, live and you learn. You know what's funny? Going into the second fight, I thought this was the... Like, looking it on paper, I thought this was the scarier one of the two. Normally I'd bring my MLKen into that team 1 instead of DN, but I wanted to bring him here, because I thought if, like, worst case scenario, MLKen solo carries. But maybe I didn't have to bring my MLKen. Oh yeah, I forgot this happened. She crits my Krau, but doesn't crit my MLKen. Feels weird, man. Oh, this is the other fight, by the way, that I mentioned in Fight 1, where it's a nice, like, showcase for Krau and why you should get him. This defense up right here is so important. And you'll see why, once his turn comes around. At this point, I'm thinking... Do I skill 1 for a small heal on Krau, or do I skill 2? And if I skill 2, who do I skill 2? Worst case scenario, if you look at the CR bar, my MLKen's gonna go before their MLKen. So, worst case, like absolute worst case scenario here is, their MLKen goes after my MLKen. So he can possibly defense break all 3 of my units into Vivian's greater attack buff, skill 2, which I learned when she skill 2s that she has portrait as well. So, what helps me not fully get fucked over here? And as you can tell, this does take me a while, like... I don't even know if the decision I go with is the best one, but I end up going and healing up my Ruel with skill 2. I figure if Ruel dies somehow, it's like fully GG. But if my Ruel can survive everything that's about to come, even through like the defense down, I should be able to recover and revive if either MLKen or Krau die. Alright. So looking back on this, I actually didn't realize how long it took me to come to this decision, but yeah, I end up skill 2ing my Ruel. And like I said, I'm not sure if that's the right play, but that's the play I go with. Right here, I end up deciding, do I want to skill 3? And I'm glad I don't. I end up skill 1ing here on the Vivian. If I skill 3 and I crit the MLKen, the other MLKen can't kill me because I have defense up and Aureus, but he'll get me lower. And once the Vivian's turn comes around, you'll see why that can be, or why that would have been really bad. So I just skill 1 the Vivian. That dual tech doesn't matter, but it's nice, I guess. So here we go, MLKen comes in. I don't remember if he crits me or not. He does, which also doesn't matter in the end. And yeah, here we go. He defense broke 2 out of my 3 units. And the 2 lowest ones at that. So here's the Vivian, greater attack buff, portrait that procs on both of them. And let me tell you, this guy's gear is not bad at all. Look at that damage. My MLKen and my Krau almost both die. This is why Krau is very, very good and very worth your summons. That defense buff, so clutch. It made both of them survive. If either of them died, if MLKen died there, she gets her reset, kills Krau. I don't think she kills my Ruel. Actually, no, she doesn't kill Ruel. But it's very sketchy at that point, because both of them probably just die. And if I revive Krau, he's at full health, so I need to wait a bit more. This Lilius by herself also did a lot of damage. And yeah, that's also why I didn't want to skill 3 with MLKen on his first turn, because if I got any lower from a counter from the other MLKen, my MLKen would have died to the Vivian. So yeah. Draw on that one. Based on all 3 of my fights, this was probably the most fun, and the most I had to think, I think. Fight 1 was a little weird. I don't know, I feel like if I tuned a little bit, like if I changed some stuff around, maybe I could've won. But overall, you know, it is what it is. I learned. I think a loss is always fine as long as you learn something from it, and I think I learned from that. The second fight was very entertaining. I've been seeing a couple more of those Vivian comms popping up, so it's a nice experience. So, yeah. That's it for Guild War. GG to Nut. Very fun Christmas Guild War, I guess. And before I end the episode, or video or whatever, I just want to say, Friday, which is tomorrow for me, I don't know if it's already Friday for some other people, but it's the last Guild War of the season. I don't know who we're gonna fight, but hopefully it's a nice one. I should be able to stream it, you know, as long as it's, like, nothing annoying happens. I should be able to stream it. Want to end off the Guild War season on a good high note. If we win that one, we maintain rank 3, so that'd be pretty cool. And because of that, I'll ask you guys a question. I've been thinking about this recently since I started uploading more YouTube videos. Does anyone want to see... what would be the right word? I guess like a showcase of my units? I kind of want to, like, just record my units, just, kind of like a time capsule kind of thing. Just to see how my units are now. Like, I'll record it, but I guess if anyone wants to see it, I'll upload it. I'll record it because I want to just, like, see how my units are now at the end of Season 1 of Guild War. As opposed to, like, either the beginning of Season 2 or at the end of Season 2 of Guild War. And see, like, the differences. And, I don't know if anyone wants to see that. Usually in top Guild Wars... Yeah, like, top guilds, most people don't like showing their units. You know, because other people can just look at them and have a better, like, an edge on them, I guess, or whatever. I personally don't care about that. like I said, it's more of a I'll record my stuff anyway, just as like a, you know, like a time capsule, just to see for myself for later. But if anyone wants to see, if like newer players or like mid-game players want to see that, I can upload that. If I do that, it'd be on like the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. So yeah, if anyone wants to see that, you can always tell me, let me know in the comments. I'll try and also upload the tomorrow's Guild War, which would also be the weekend. I know people have told me that they actually prefer when I do my Guild Wars this way, just talking. You know, explaining how I do some stuff. I can, if more people prefer it that way, I can always do my Guild War like that. Because whenever I stream my Guild War, it's very different to how I do it now. Whenever I stream my Guild War, it's kind of like more in the moment, just having fun with the chat, stuff like that. I don't usually like go too into detail on what I'm doing unless it's like a hard Guild War. But if that's the case, then I just don't stream anyway. But yeah, let me know if anyone wants to see stuff like that, like my units and whatnot. Guild War ends, season 1 ends tomorrow. So yeah, I guess that's it. Can't really think of anything else. Yeah, I'll end the video here. Oh, gotta do my YouTube thing. Don't forget to like, comment, etc, etc. I feel stinky now. Alright, I'm done. Thanks for watching.